What's up, traders? So today we're going to talk about Robinhood and why it may be setting up for a perfect opportunity to make a ton of money. And also we will look at an ETF that I plan on making a ton of money from. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad. I am a full-time options trader and I bring in the majority of my income from the stock market. But before we begin, if you could do me so much of a favor as to go ahead and smash that like button, it just helps push this video out to more people. And do remember that this is not financial advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any equities or options contracts. All trading comes with risk. Now, of course, I start my videos with a word from God that has to do with money, wealth, building, or business. And today's word comes from Proverbs 10:4, and it says, if a man is lazy, he will soon be poor, but if he works hard, he will become rich. And quite simply, this is saying you have to put in the work to get the results. Faith without works is dead. And if you don't make the effort to learn, if you don't make the effort to get better, if you don't make the effort to obtain more knowledge, then you'll leave all the wealth building to those who do. But speaking of wealth building, I have to shout out members of the Trader Freedom community who are doing just that. Now, normally I would shout out several members of the Trader Freedom community. However, for this video, I want to focus on just one. And this is Justin, and he says, great morning, community. I know we have a lot of new people joining, and I wanted to share some Sunday morning inspiration before we head into this week. I started my account with $15,000 in the spring of 2024 and grew it to $274,000 by July of 2025. Today, just 5 months later, it is at $482,000 and has been as high as $544,000, but I did pull out some cash to pay the bills. The point is, though, daily discipline and following the system that anyone can achieve these results. Thanks each and every one of you for your continued support. Happy Sunday. 2 screenshots attached. And he surely did show those receipts. If we look right here, we can see it says he has printed $259,000 just in the past year. So Justin, huge shout out to you. I don't even know what to say, man. But it's surely not surprising. He comes in, he does the work, he follows our strategies, and he's quite simply trading to freedom. And so if you know anybody who would like to trade to freedom as well, the link is below in the description. You'll get to see my exact trades. You'll get access to the course. You'll get full access to ask me questions at any given time. And you'll be within a community of over 300 plus members who are all literally trading to freedom every single day. And so if you do know anybody, the link is below. But with that, let's get down to business. Now, the market had another green day today after the Fed cut interest rates just yesterday. And if we look here, after hours, the SPY is at $690.89, which would technically be the all-time high, as the all-time high was $689.70. All right, but this is after hours, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But it's clear that we have a lot of bullish momentum. And we could possibly see that bullish momentum continue on because just in, Broadcom has beat on both the top and bottom lines, and they have forecasted that they will even double their revenue next year. And to put that simply, the AI trade lives on to fight another day. This is just more proof that there are no current signs that the AI trade will die anytime soon. And because of this, I do believe that we continue to move higher over the next year, but I'm not the only person that believes that. Check out what Tom Lee had to say.
This record-setting rally and how far stocks can go. Let's ask Tom Lee. He is FundStrat's head of research, a CNBC contributor. He's with me at Post 9 because he is out with his 2026 outlook for stocks. Thanks for sharing it with us first. We appreciate you for that. So let's get right to it. So we're going to 7,700. That's the headline. So that's a pretty decent year in the year ahead. Not quite as robust as we had this year. Why that target?
Well, we're 3 years at 20% gains because the S&P probably closes 7,000 or so this year. And so I think there's a deceleration of what the market can do next year. But that 10%, I think, belies what will be a very turbulent year, similar to this year, where this year we had tariffs and sort of a Fed that became hawkish again. Next year is a year where we have a Supreme Court potentially overturning tariffs, and then a new Fed, which will be tested.
And so while I agree we will not have another 20 plus year in 2026 like we had over the last 3 years, I do still believe it will be a very positive year. But with all of that said, let's look at one of the stocks that I want to discuss today, and that is Robinhood. Now, as you can see here, Robinhood went down 9% for the day. So that was a huge move down. And let's take a look at the reason. So we can see this article here from Bar Chart. It says Robinhood stock gets dragged down by the crypto sell-off. Should you buy the dip? Robinhood stock tanked about 9% today after the California-based financial technology giant reported a broad-based decline in monthly trading volume. In November, the company saw volumes decline by 37% across equities, 28% in options, and 12% in crypto as bubble concerns and macro uncertainty triggered a sharp sell-off in risk assets. Now, I want to stop right there. The reason they had lower numbers for November has nothing to do with Robinhood by themselves and had everything to do with the total market. And the reason their numbers were lower for November is because during the first 2 weeks of November, the market was selling off. Well, when the market starts selling off, people become fearful and they go away. You know, everybody loves Warren Buffett's famous saying where he says, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. However, when people are actually being fearful, nobody ever does exactly what they say they were going to do, and they never become greedy. They just run away with the rest of the crowd. And these numbers quite literally prove it. A decline of 37%? Yes, that sounds like a bunch of people who were fearful. But shout out to everybody in the community who followed my lead, and we were absolutely greedy during that entire month. But it goes on to say versus its year-to-date high in October, Robinhood stock is down some 20% at the time of this writing. Investors punished Hood shares on Thursday mostly because transaction-based revenue currently makes up more than half of the company's overall revenue, which was 57% in the third quarter of 2025. Still, Brett, a senior analyst, recommends that long-term investors treat this pullback as a buying opportunity for two big reasons. First, the monthly decline in trading volume was somewhat expected. And second, the New York Stock Exchange listed firm is executing well on its international growth initiatives that are expanding its total addressable market. Earlier this week, the fintech acquired another company, marking its entry into the Indonesian market, home of roughly 36 million stock and crypto market investors. In an interview with CNBC last month, the online trading platform dubbed Prediction Markets its fastest growing segment ever. According to the Cantor Fitzgerald expert, continued momentum in that business could see Hood rallying back to $152 next year, indicating potential upside of about 22% from current levels. Now, we can see that it is up currently after market close. It's up about 1%. But in a video that I posted last week, I pointed out some major support levels for Robinhood. Now, if I go ahead and remove these moving averages so it's a little simpler to see, if we take a look here, we can clearly see that there is a nice level of support right here at about 120. All right, and it has pretty much lived in this 120 to 150 area for the last 3 months, all right, all the way back to about September 10th. Now, it did pop below that level in November where everybody was selling all of their shares. We can see it didn't stay too long. It popped right back up. All right, but 120 is a level of support, which it obviously is very near. And today it even dropped down as low as $122.54. All right, so we may see some near-term support right there at 120, but what would be a major level of support is right here at 100. All right, and so we can see ever since it popped above 100 back in, looks like July, it has come down and retested 100 several times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it went up for a while. And then recently in November, it came down and tested it again on this date of November 21st. And then after that, it popped right back up. All right. So we know that 120 is a reasonable level of support, but we know that 100 is a major level of support. Okay, so we'll want to keep all of those things in mind. And again, if I come over and I look at analyst target prices, we can see out of 22 analysts, they still have it as a moderate buy. And collectively, they have a mean target of $154. And that is good to know. And so altogether, analysts see a good amount of upside to the stock. But let's go ahead and take a look at our brokerage and look at our potential trade. And so now we're at the options chain, and I need to select first my expiration date. And so maybe for this one, I'll go to about a month out. So we'll go to this date that's 29 days out from now. And from here, we've already identified what our levels of support are. And so from here, you can determine how aggressive or how conservative you want to be when it comes to the trade. All right, but we know for sure we want to be under some level of 120 if we plan on selling puts or if we plan on selling credit spreads. And so since we know our levels of support are 120 and 100, maybe let's go like right in the middle. Maybe we come over to this $110 strike. And we can see if we were to sell a put here, we would get paid anywhere between $284 to $310 per contract right here, right now. But maybe you're like, it's $110. I don't know if I want to put up that much buying power in order to do a cash secured put right now because you see some other opportunities in the market. Well, maybe we just turn this into a credit spread so that it'll greatly lessen the amount of buying power that we need up front to place the trade to begin with. All right, so what I can do is I can sell to open this $110 put. And so we have that set. And then maybe I'll do a little wider of a credit spread. Maybe I'll do about $15 wide. So maybe I'll come over here and I'll buy the $95 put. And that has now made it into a credit spread. And so we can see here that the credit spread does two different things. One, it does slightly lessen the amount of money that we will make per contract, right? Because we went from around $300 per contract to now we are making $220 per contract. However, what it also does is it greatly reduces the amount of money that you need in order to put on the trade. Because if we were to have just sold the put at $110, then technically you need about $11,000 per contract if it's going to be cash secured. However, if we look down here, we can see we only need $1,279 per contract. All right, so it's like 10 to 11 times less money that we need up front in order to put on the trade. Now, if we come up and we look at the P&L curve, we can see Robinhood's prices right here, and all we need is for the stock price to stay above the mark that we set at 110, then we keep our money and we go about our day. However, if it were to drop down some, then our break even would be $107.79. And if it were to continue to drop, then this would become a losing trade. However, your max loss is capped because it is a credit spread. And then also you can just determine whether you would like to just take assignment of the shares or not. Okay, but if not, then you would likely, due to a stop loss, be stopped out of the trade way before it would ever become a max loss situation. All right, but those are my thoughts on Robinhood. Now let's get to our second stock, which is a leveraged ETF with the ticker symbol of NAIL. All right, so here we are with the ETF titled NAIL, and this is essentially a 3x leveraged ETF for home builder stocks. Now we can see the stock price is currently $60, and it is currently near a pretty solid level of support. Now, before we get too far into the charts, I want to show you the actual stocks that are included in this ETF. All right, so we can see here there are 56 different holdings within this ETF, and you have all the big home builders. So we have D.R. Horton, we have Lennar Corporation, Pulte Group, NVR, Toll Brothers, Lowe's, Sherwin-Williams, TopBuild, Home Depot, and several more. Now, one of the Trader Freedom community members actually pointed this ETF out to me, and the more I dug deeper into it, the more and more I liked it. And so if we go over here and we head to the charts, now I'm looking at the weekly charts over the last 5 years, and we can see since late 2024, it's pretty much been selling off. But recently it came down and hit this level of support again, right around 50 bucks. And there is a good chance that its downside could be capped a bit more now as the Fed has continuously cut interest rates, which should help new home buyers go ahead and make the decision to make a new purchase. And if that occurs, then that helps pretty much every single stock within this ETF. And on top of that, this stock has some pretty amazing premiums. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, of course, the first thing we need to do is select our expiration date. Now, I will say with this ETF, it does not have as much volume and open interest as most of the other stocks and ETFs that I trade. And so typically when that occurs, you usually want to go to a monthly expiration because it helps, because it has more volume and open interest on those dates. And so technically the next monthly expiration would be next week with the expiration of December 19th, or the next one after that will be the January 16th date. And so let's go ahead and take a look at both of them. If we were to do the date that's next week and go ahead and look for some weekly income, and if we come over here and we look at the expected move, it says plus or minus $5.74. And so if we subtract that from the current stock price, that'll get us around $55. All right, so maybe I come over here and I sell this $55 put, but knowing it's a leveraged ETF, maybe I want to be a little bit more conservative and I'll go ahead to that $54 strike. All right, and it's still paying an amazing amount at a nearly 2% return in just the span of a week. But if we go out and look at the further date, that is currently 36 days out from now, then I like this even more because we just seen from the chart that it has major support at that $50 level. And so if we were to come down to $50 even, we can see we'll get paid anywhere between $170 to $220 right here, right now for placing that trade. It is just at a delta of 19%, and you'll get a return of about 4% on your money, which we can see here will be about a 41% annualized return. And those are some amazing numbers. But let me know down in the comments below if you plan on trading either of these stocks. And if you would like to come trade to freedom, come join us. The link is below in the description. Start building your foundation for 2026 right now, and you'll be happy that you did. But that is it for this video. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.